Gregorian calendar, and the 5-finger count. There is 12 months in 1 year, aka annum. The homophone definition of annum, unusual, abnormal, or regular. There is 52 weeks in 1 year. 12 times 4 equals 48 equals 4 extra weeks. That then shows that there is 13 months. Minus 4 from 48 is 44, that is 11 months. So, are we 4 weeks behind, or 4 weeks ahead? Or, is it proof of an extra upon motions, actuations and space? It proves of the metric threshold equation, and a equalized self-corrective, extant, of extra upon terrestrial, and is also a strata prime with oddities, equally important, of metric measures. A system of corrections and spatial vacuum. It also proves of esoteric secrecy of alternate, anchorage alternate, magnetic ball, alternate contrasts, alternate analog, alternate resonance, altered carbon. Alas, of a sequestered manufacture to extensive, a curator perhaps. A abnormality of anomalous activity, as if in contention, kinda like a arc disruption where the contents of the ships, aka vessels, have been tampered upon, tempered through, and cultivated by the mechanism of the systems obvious and systems not so obvious. So what of the crew? Consider arc light. Community of body is a clue, and the further stimulating question: where does the biology actually come from upon successful fertilization of the eggs? How about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 fingers. And 5. That's 1 to 5 and 10 to 6, yet the latter is -1, isn't it? Both 6 and 4 are numeric oddities, yet integers, whole, and even numbers. So, how is the finger algebra possible? A linguistics relevance to initialism, start, and definition of participle. In linguistics, a participle is a non-finite verb form that has some of the characteristics and functions of both verbs and adjectives. Think of the numeric order. It proves 0 minus 1 equals -1. How? It shows discrepancy with non-zero and zero sum, a deviation potential at least, and this then does gravitate with simulation theory. This is then astoundingly significant. Think of tens to the power of in mathematics and century long, happening over several centuries, and deal 24 hours and tenths of seconds, tens of tens, tenth of 100. Clues. Here we are in fact exploring active real physics and chemistry, veering to philosopher's stone and holy grail. A. Matter creation in procedural generations. A. Extra participle compound numeric inflection change happening though with symmetry. What do I mean by this? That it is a numeric interface, that is, dynamically based, a contents and aggregates, as in raw unitary materials. In other words, the example is base reality. Wow, supersymmetry stuff. That the perception of the quality is a static predetermined outcome, though truly dynamic. To the extent of the system as it is, at its baseline in real time, the flux is the inflection in this meaning. Energetics and gas phases, base reality and fundamental principles, that is, what we have come to call home. That everything is unique, yet that outcomes share affinity, that shows what such systemic fabric is based upon foremost, space. Therefore dependent upon the functions in the system or the stemmings of such, this then supports the conjecture of absolute density, down there affecting up, here. Maintaining the system of parameters, though a morbid tragedy of impact, a burning candle at both ends, a hourglass analogy, configuration 8, and binaries 6 and 9, siphon. 3, re 369 minus 4 equals 365 days per annum. Timings of motion states of status, active and defaulting currents. What is it that this means exactly? That death is more of transitions, and not a abysmal dead-end devolution, as it has been attempted of linear cognitive reprimands, inertia and neural electrical induced interdiction. That recycling and regenerative procedural outcome is the true ambition of the life within the arcs that support it. That then, this very equation, is out of the bounds of the simulation theory, that this is of it, but alas, of it It is from this, the creative potentials, its stimulating scope. Now, what is its ultimate creation? Systems of support. That destruction is truly but a tool, renewal-based systems with potential of being destroyed, yet of life's seemingly greatest of weaknesses, is therein life's greatest of strengths. Simultaneously, the unified ambitions, cohesion. Now that's miraculous, because it basically shows that there is truly astronomical inclusions that assist the stimulus of most important questions, that the very fundamental principles of all that this is, and most of all, the spatial of the vacuum and its dynamo, seems as though a absolute constant, what, you, and everything about, you, is relative to at the most fundamental scale. Yet that it is, still, questionable in itself, is even more exciting. Isn't it? Our curiosity truly is insatiable of such quests to sufficient triumphant answers. However, subject to change, especially with integrity of self-gradation furthered of autonomic foundations, to lateral innate. Such mesmerizing questions that seem to be fraying upon the very fundamental procedures of its mechanism, that do seem to concern us all. As though growing beyond the fittings of the cloth that clothes the children of it, as intended though it resounds of a stunt and spring too. As if an attempt of controlled settings induced regeneratively, broken out of and set loose the insatiable might of life itself, ambitions of matters, it's gonna grow how it's gonna grow. And it's gonna grow for sure. Such the settlements of such symmetries. A stimulus of constants, to negative contentions, seems to be counter to the equation of its holistic procedural consistency. What is it that I am referring about exactly? Existence of being. So, it 'tis quite the question, what, how, why, when, where. Welcome to school, pilot, it's been happening. Principal teachers we are, of. Now that is glorious.